Please welcome to the stage Bishop Mariann Budde.
Good evening, friends. I'm Mariann Budde, and really honored to be the one to begin our program this evening. Thank you. You truly are beautiful tonight. And I've been thinking all week about how easy it is to tear things down, how quickly things that have taken centuries to build can be destroyed. And in contrast, how long and faithful are the steps for creating communities and institutions that last. So there's nowhere I'd rather be tonight than with all of you, coming from all walks of life and circumstances that you carry in your own hearts, but united tonight in a common celebration of the Bishop Walker School and its arc of transformation from its inception until now, and all the possibilities that lie before the children who will grow to be young men, forever influenced by the love and the prizing and the investment in them and in their future lives. So thank you. Thank you. I will offer, for those who are people of prayer, I will offer a prayer of blessing. By the way, if you've already started your dinner, not to worry. I raised 2 sons, and it was always a goal to get grace said before dinner was over. And but I'm just going to offer a brief prayer and then introduce who I'll introduce after I pray. So just ask you to take a moment to take a deep breath. And gracious and holy God, I am so honored to be the one to give voice to our gratitude for the abundance of life that is ours to enjoy, the feast of this evening, and most especially to be in the company of one another, united in common purpose for the support of the Bishop Walker School and all that it represents. I would ask your personal blessing on each one here, that you would be real and known to them in a palpable way, and also that they would all know how much it means to you and to the world that you love. They have chosen to invest so much of themselves for children they may never see grow up, but whose lives will be forever changed by the years they spent at the Bishop Walker School. So be with us this night and help us to be your instruments of love and peace in this world. In your name we pray. Amen. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the chair of the Bishop Walker School. Would you join me in welcoming and thanking Mr. Andrew Clarke?
Good evening, Bishop Walker School family. Good evening. Bishop Mariann, thank you so much for your warm welcome and your gracious blessing, and thank you for your leadership. As a school of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, we are deeply grateful for the support of parishes and parishioners throughout this region and beyond. Please, let's thank our parishes and parishioners for all of their support. Thank you all for being here, all 722 of you. It's a wonderful view from up here. You all look amazing. This wonderful weather as well is proof, in case we didn't know it, that God loves the Bishop Walker School deeply. I want to recognize a few people whose extraordinary support makes tonight possible. For 8 years, Dean Hollerith and the entire Cathedral staff have graciously welcomed us into this space. We are so grateful. Thank you to our wonderful annual dinner co-chairs. That's Heather Klesoris, Alice Leiter, Gary Lockett, Dace Martinez, and Marissa Sams. Thank you for your dedication and your hard work for many months, and thank you for gathering so many friends here tonight. We're also deeply grateful for the generous underwriting support from Bob and Yvonne Connolly, Sarah and John Thorne, Anne and Mark Hansen, Lucy Pugh and Michael Kellogg. And also to Michael Rankin and Mark Green at TTR Sotheby's for their stellar support. To the many donors whose names are on the screens tonight and in the program, our hearts are full because of you. Thank you so much. There is something really special about the people of BWS, a spirit of commitment so strong that it inspires others to join us. That spirit has sustained this school from the very beginning. I want to take a moment to recognize one couple who are a shining example of this contagious passion for service to BWS, John and Sarah Thorne. From the earliest days, John and Sarah have given their time, their wisdom, and their resources with unwavering commitment. John served as our founding board chair, and his leadership was key and essential to the school's success. Sarah, also a founding board member, indeed, has served BWS in so many ways with her intellect, her grace, and her warmth. Together, they lead by example. Inspired by John's leadership, his law partner stepped into this mission, and together they began underwriting this dinner, back in the days when we were at the Metropolitan Club and all the way through to today. Thank you to John's partners for that amazing contribution to the life of our school. I am delighted to share this evening that a group of John and Sarah's colleagues and friends have made the most significant gift, the largest gift in Bishop Walker School history, in their honor, by calling it the Thorne Fund for Professional Excellence at BWS. John and Sarah, thank you for believing in this place. Thank you for believing it in a way that inspires all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, John and Sarah Thorne. And I know that that same spirit fills this room tonight with all of these wonderful 722 guests. Almost all of our operating budget comes from the generosity of people like all of you. Because of your support, we remain a tuition-free, independent school, opening the doors of opportunity to our boys to develop their God-given talents and realize their fullest potential. Thank you all, and please enjoy your dinner conversations. See you later.
My wife and I support Bishop Walker School because it serves as an academic incubator that supports and nurtures spiritual, intellectual, educational, and social-emotional development.
The founding of the Bishop Walker School by the Episcopal Diocese of Washington was an ambitious and bold vision, firmly rooted in love.
What was nurtured, the foundation taught, and the moral character instilled in my son Aiden transcends with him today as a freshman in college.
BWS not only teaches our boys how to read, write, and analyze, but it provides the self-confidence they need to advocate for justice and equality.
This school changes lives, one boy at a time.
It's a very safe and affirming space for our boys. It feels just like home.
It just makes me extremely proud and happy to be supporting these boys who are doing amazing things.
I believe in the BWS mission because I've experienced it firsthand. Me and everyone I came through in 2007, we're brothers, and we're brothers for life.
They are very intentional how they teach the boys about their blackness and their history and their identity as young men. And they do it in such an empowering, positive way that builds confidence and pride that goes far beyond the classroom.
The whole nurturing of learning of these young men is quite powerful.
I was privileged to go to a boys' Episcopal school. The most important parts of that education were values, not facts.
Being able to provide that to a young man is very deeply meaningful to both of us.
You see a superior educational program guided by loving teachers. I can't imagine a more important thing for the young men who come through our doors and for our community.
As one of the very small percentage of Black male educators in the country, I really appreciate having the opportunity to serve a group of boys that remind me of my younger self.
We have some of the brightest kids in the city here. Every faculty and staff member understands that we're doing something important.
We are providing a space where they can grow, learn, and authentically become themselves while we're pushing them to be the kings that they were created to be.
For me, it's really a full circle moment to have the opportunity to be the teacher and to be the role model and someone that they can look up to that looks like them. I remember growing up, I didn't have a lot of those same opportunities.
BWS provides a supportive community and meaningful connections that will help our boys to unlock opportunity, gain access, and rightfully take their place in any room they choose to enter.
Without it, I would not be at Morehouse. I would not have the dedication or drive or learn what it meant to be a Black man in America at such a young age.
It's a given that I will always support the Bishop Walker School. John Walker was my mentor, my friend, and part of our family.
I donate to Bishop Walker School because I believe in boys, their curiosity, their questions, their energy, and their promise. At BWS, boys are not asked to shrink who they are, they're invited to grow.
I donate time and money because it makes a difference at BWS.
It's an opportunity for us to give back to the community from which we were raised.
I can't imagine a more important thing to support.
We are blessed to be a part of this community.
That's why I give, that's why I support, and that's why I believe in Bishop Walker School.
Hi, friends. The first thing that I want to say is it is me. You all have been passing me all night because of the hairdo. It's me. Hi. This is one of my favorite times of the year. A little intimate dinner with 700 of our closest friends. I'm thrilled to share a milestone that our village has reached together. But first, just want to share, when I was drafting my thoughts, I knew that making a connection between being an educator and a gardener was the right analogy. However, I found myself struggling to draw poetic parallels between being an educator and a gardener. And in a moment of honest self-reflection, I said to myself, You're struggling, beloved, because you do not know how to garden. In fact, the last orchid you were gifted, you took it straight to Miss Bogle in the science lab because you knew it would not thrive under your care. Thank you, Miss Bogle, for taking good care of my plants. But I can appreciate the act and the results of gardening enough to know that our little community is its own garden. And something beautiful has bloomed as a result of our effort, our patience, and our teamwork. This year, May 2026, for the first time in the history of Bishop John T. Walker School for Boys, some of our own young men who sat in our classrooms and who were little kindergartners with backpacks almost as big as they were, that group will graduate from college this May. And I just want to let that land for a moment. We're not just a school that accepts boys in kindergarten, then wishes them well as they go off to middle school. We're an institution that walks alongside our young men all the way to their post-high school lives, and that often includes college degrees. And that is what long-term investment looks like, and it is what our village, all of us together, make possible. For our new friends in the room, welcome. We hope this is not your last of your first dinner. And as a reminder, BWS is the only 100% full scholarship, up to 96 full scholarships every year. We're independent, Episcopal, we're K-5, we're all boys. That's the only model of this kind of school in the country. That means, yes, we can clap for that. And that means we pour into boys that sometimes the world overlooks, and we stay with them for the long haul. That sustained focus and investment over time is only possible because of you. Our graduates did not get here alone. Their parents and families guided them. Our leaders, our faculty and staff pour into them every day. Our founders, our donors, our board members, all of the partners, the churches and the parishes, you all have helped hold BWS steady. And most importantly, our scholars themselves put in the work to succeed. This year's class is just the beginning. There are boys right now we will see tomorrow morning who will stand where our college graduates stand today, and who, with your unwavering support of Bishop Walker's vision, will be ready to walk through the door of opportunity. So now I'd like for you to join me in a moment of gratitude for our village, for our scholars, for those who are no longer here, but helped build and plant the garden, and for each other. So if we could, friends, go ahead and give yourselves a rousing round of applause. Before I bring up one of our college graduates who is here with us tonight, I want to take some time in this significant moment to recognize a few BWS leaders who are here this evening. I'm the head now, but there were leaders before me that set the foundation. Mr. James Woody is our founding head of school. My good friend and fellow head, she's the head of Sheridan School now. She was Biancan's first grade teacher, and she is a former administrator at BWS. Courtney Martin, where are you, Court? Thank you for coming tonight. And my predecessor who paved the way for me, Mike Molina, is also here with us tonight. Your leadership investment, friends, in BWS really helped make everything I described possible. And now, it is my absolute joy to introduce you to a young man who has graciously flown in to represent our class of college graduates. He's a member of the BWS Class of 2016, and he will be graduating in May from Alabama A&M University. Please welcome Biankan Garner-de Kouadio.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Biankan Garner-de Kouadio, a member of the first class of Bishop Walker School for Boys who graduated from BWS in 2016. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I should be clapping for y'all. Today, I'm a senior at Alabama A&M University, studying environmental science with a focus in plant science, and I'll be graduating this May with my Bachelor of Science degree. Yeah, thank you. It is truly my honor to introduce our guest speaker this evening, Mr. Kenneth B. Morris, Jr. Mr. Morris descends from two of the most influential figures in American history. He is the great, great, great grandson of Frederick Douglass and the great, great grandson of Booker T. Washington. But he is not simply carrying history, he's building it. As co-founder and president of Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives, Mr. Morris advocates for strong educational opportunity and to end systems of exploitation and oppression. He has spoken at the United Nations, served as chair of the Frederick Douglass Bicentennial Commission, and has appeared in major American history documentaries across HBO, PBS, and the History Channel. Through his leadership, he continues a legacy rooted in the powerful belief that education is the pathway to freedom. All of us in this space tonight share that belief. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Kenneth B. Morris, Jr.
Good evening. Before I begin, I want to thank Biankan for that wonderful introduction. Hearing from a former Bishop Walker student who is now thriving both academically and athletically in college is a powerful reminder of why we are gathered here tonight. Your journey reflects the very promise this school was built to nurture. Thank you so much, Biankan. It's an honor to be with you tonight. When I consider education, I don't first think about classrooms. I think about freedom, because education is where freedom first takes root. My ancestor Frederick Douglass once said that knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. He understood that literacy was more than just reading words on a page. It was about claiming ownership of his own mind. My other ancestor, Booker T. Washington, built schools not only to educate minds, but also to shape futures. He believed that when you build institutions, you create stability. When you create stability, you cultivate dignity. Both of my ancestors understood the same truth. Education changes a life. But it does not stop there. It also changes a lineage. My mother, Nettie Washington Douglas, is here tonight. She is the living union of the Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington families, the convergence of two legacies grounded in education, discipline, and faith. Through the union of her parents, those historic bloodlines came together, and she has carried her inheritance with grace, elegance, and with purpose. Mom, will you please stand? And I am so grateful because my mother reminds me that legacy is not something we passively inherit. It is something we actively steward with intention. We all stand on the shoulders and walk in the shoes of those who came before us. And history lives in each of us. And that is why education never merely is personal, it is generational. Bishop John T. Walker understood that as well. He was not only a bishop, he was a builder. As the first African-American bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, he believed faith must confront real-world issues. He believed leadership involves expanding opportunity and building stronger communities. He devoted his life to expanding possibilities in this city. Last year, in 2025, we marked what would have been his 100th birthday. And in this centennial year, as the Bishop Walker School celebrates the 100th anniversary of the enduring legacy that inspired its founding, we see the living expression of that vision. And before I go further, I want to recognize someone whose example speaks more powerfully than any words I could offer tonight. Mrs. Walker. It is a great honor to be in your presence. Your husband's dedication to justice and education continues to influence young lives every single day. You have protected and carried this legacy with grace and steadfast devotion, and because of you, it stands. Mrs. Walker, your presence among us reminds us that this legacy is not behind us, it is alive in the work before us. Bishop Walker School for Boys is not simply a building, it is a commitment that boys in Southeast Washington deserve rigorous education, strong character formation, and the structure that prepares them to lead. And that promise is being carried forward every day by dedicated faculty, visionary leadership, and a board that understands both stewardship and ambition. The young boys in this school are not only being educated, they are being challenged, mentored, and prepared to make an impact. That work being done at Bishop Walker today is disciplined, intentional, and transformative. This institution is strong and in good hands. Now, I first visited Bishop Walker in 2018, which was the bicentennial year of Frederick Douglass's birth. I remember the students' curiosity, their confidence, and the sense that something meaningful was taking shape at the school. And yesterday, I had the chance to spend some time with the students who are enrolled there today. What I saw was the same promise, strengthened, deepened, and guided by the work taking place in those classrooms every single day. So consider this. None of us arrived here alone. If we trace our stories back, we will find someone who invested in us long before we could give anything in return. The opportunities we enjoy did not appear by accident. They were forged by courage, forged by sacrifice, forged by investment. A 100th anniversary is not simply a time to look back. It's a time to decide what the next 100 years will look like. What kind of leaders will emerge from these classrooms? What kinds of citizens will shape this city, this nation, and perhaps even this world? The answer will not be determined by good intentions alone. It will be determined by resolve. Frederick Douglass said, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." And that is not just a quote. That's not a quote, it's a mandate. And that mandate is being lived out in this school every day. A man born into slavery taught himself to read in secret and altered the conscience of a nation. Another man, born enslaved, built schools that still stand more than a century later. Their bloodlines converged. And because they believed in education, I stand before you tonight. That is the power of building strong children. That is the power of institutions built on discipline and dignity. And that is the power of what is happening at Bishop Walker. In a few moments, when you lift your paddles, you're not just supporting a school, you're entering a lineage of builders and believers. You're deciding that 100 years from now, someone else will stand in a place as sacred and significant as this space. And say that because of the generosity shown here tonight, their family's trajectory was forever altered. The doors that opened for my ancestors were opened by struggle and sacrifice. The doors that remain open today are sustained by vigilance. Now it is our turn to build something that will outlast us. Not in theory, not in sentiment, but in action. All of us have been entrusted with an inheritance. Now it's up to decide what we will pass on to the next generation of leaders, forged in the mold of Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington and all the freedom fighters that came before us. Booker T. Washington said, "If you want to lift up yourself, lift up someone else." Yes, history lives in each of us, but the future depends on how we carry it forward. Thank you. Thank you.
I am knowledgeable.
I am independent.
I am noble.
I am generous.
I am a servant leader. We are kings.
At BWS, we help boys grow into scholars, leaders, and brothers, grounded in values, excellence, and joy.
At BWS, everybody knows you, and they don't let you give up.
This is a place where boys are known deeply, challenged thoughtfully, and supported consistently.
What's that word again?
We set a high bar and give our scholars the tools to reach it. We use clear routines, strong teaching, and data to understand what each scholar needs.
At BWS, teachers care about who I am and what I can do.
Our classrooms build the skills and confidence to learn to think critically, communicate clearly, and take pride in their work.
We teach character and self-management the same way we teach reading and math, explicitly, consistently, and with care.
By following our Bishop Walker values, I know I will succeed.
I feel supported by my teachers and my classmates.
We help boys grow into scholars and citizens grounded in values, emotional strength, and pride in who they are. As an Episcopal school, we're grounded in the belief that every child has inherent worth. We make space for reflection, service, and community, and we welcome families of many faiths and backgrounds.
At BWS, everyone is welcome.
Praise the Lord, let all the joys of life, we may never forget.
Our Episcopal identity shows up in how we treat people, with respect, compassion, and a commitment to the common good.
The faculty, staff, and administration communicate very well. They are true partners with parents, and they see the very best in all of our children.
BWS doesn't stop caring when a scholar leaves the 5th grade. From outplacement to college, boys and families are supporting our long-term successes, just like me.
That continuity matters. We're building an academic, social, emotional, and spiritual foundation that supports boys for years to come.
Wherever I go next, I know I have a bright future ahead of me.
At BWS, your son will be known, challenged, and loved. Come visit and see what it means to be a king.
Thank you, Rasan. Let's give Rasan Bernard a hand, please. Thank you so much. He's always so gracious every year. And another round of applause for Biankan, our college graduate.
Thank you all so much. As we close this magical evening, our heartfelt thanks go to the many people who made this community so special, our generous donors and underwriters, the educators, staff, please rise.
Where are our faculty, staff, and administrators? Can you stand up? You are the heart of the school. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'd love for you all to come to the stage at the end so we can get a picture together.
And our families who guide our scholars every single day. And our board, led by our remarkable board chair, my dear friend, Andrew Clarke. We so appreciate our spectacular annual dinner chairs whose hard work made tonight possible. We are also thankful to our special guests, Kenneth Morris and his mother, and most of all, our exceptional scholars, past and present. Your presence tonight and all the ways you contribute to this community truly matter. We celebrate the role each of you plays in supporting the young men of the Bishop Walker School.
Tonight has been a celebration of legacy, of village, and of an idea of patience and persistence, and how those two things combined can make this possible. Some of you knew Bishop Walker when he first dreamed our school into existence. And tonight, you've gotten to see it bloom. So because of you, all of you, his vision is becoming a reality. One graduate, one scholar, and one boy at a time. And we thank you for believing in both the proof and the promise. Safe travels, good night, and we look forward to seeing you next year.